you're that comfortable to talk about sex the first time we meet, then let's get into it. I have about 3 bills, that need to be paid. What's up? Ask them. You're comfortable enough to talk about some sex. Let's talk about these bills, baby. You want to pay some? Because that's the only thing that's turning me on. Okay. So don't let them get away with stupid stuff like that. If they talk about sex and you're not trying to use them and flirt with them to get the money and fool them, if you're not on that gold digging tip at that moment and you really trying to be with somebody for real this time, and they talk like that to you, they don't respect you. And especially if they're broke and dusty, straight up asking for some money and get rid of them. Okay. If y'all are out there trying to say, oh, I'm trying to level up, but you still sleeping with your dusty or your ex or any dusty that shows you interest because you have self-esteem issues or need some type of validation. If you still doing that, mm-mm, you deserve everything that comes after that. Okay. Lock it up. Like Medea says, clink, clink on the broke men. Clink, clink on the rich men too. But at least let the rich man know they got a chance. That way, because they will work for it. Okay. Broke man ain't gonna work for it. He just gonna be like, oh well, can't afford that. Move on to the next. He's gonna call you some names first, but then he's gonna move on. But the man with something is willing to invest and work for it.
Very happy to be here. Very happy to be here. Greetings and salutations, my friends. Hope everybody's doing okay. Wanted to practice my little accent for whatever, but I hope everybody's doing okay. So you're wondering why I'm late today. Well, got something in the mail today, and I don't know if some of you know this, but I am a bass player. I am a bass player. And one of the things that I'm beginning to push to other bass players is to shape your sound before you hit the board. We live in a time, especially in church, where everybody's doing, the streaming thing. Everybody's saying, oh, let's go straight to the board, and everybody's on headphones. You go to a church and they said, oh, we're on headphones or we're on ears. That's what they normally say. And so I've been finding myself very frustrated, not all the time, not at Powerhouse, well, sub four. Yeah, but I've been finding myself very frustrated with the way my bass sounded in my ears. And so I've been trying to explore different ways to improve that and not putting so much weight on our sound engineers to make it sound good in my ears so I can perform to my best, level or to my optimal level. So I've been purchasing a couple of things, and I purchased an EQ and that works, and I've been using my soundboard. But something came into the mail and I'm actually excited. I was actually fiddling around with it before I finished setting up the show to get ready to go and present it to you. And I think I like it. It's very, very interesting what this thing does. It's called a GK Plex. It's right here. It's a DI, it's an EQ, it's an amp sim, it's everything. And I wanted to use this thing to make my bass sound better. Like when I come into a situation, they say, well, we're in ears. And I could just plug this in. As you can see at the top, it has a DI input. So I've been messing around with this thing. What's up, Deontay? I've been messing around with this thing for the last few minutes. I'm going to mess around with it some more once I'm off of here. But I wanted to get something that can make it sound like an amp without it sounding like an amp. What up, Jason? Without it sounding like, crap, for lack of a better word, because bass players, we know when we plug in our bass, sometimes it doesn't sound the best. You're hearing string noise, you're hearing just a raw sound. And sometimes when you plug into a system or a DI, the raw sound is not appealing. Well, with this, it definitely is appealing. It's very, very good. It has so many features. You have to look it up. Maybe one day I'll just plug in and just play it, but I'm not set up to do it right now. But I'm already in love with this GK Plex. I'm already in love with it. I mean, the things that I can do, it has compressor. It has a compressor, it has a tuner. You can plug it and use it as a input to Pro Tools or Logic or whatever your DAW is. You can it has, like I said, an EQ. It has an EQ bump. It does different shape manipulation for the bass, and it also has an overdrive. Now, some of you hard rock guys, or you guys that play CCM, you want that gritty sound. It does that as well. It has everything that you would want. You can plug into an aux, like say for instance, you're practicing. We have rehearsal, and it's a song I need to learn. Well, sometimes I plug in my earbuds and then I put some headphones over it. Well, now I don't have to do that. I can just plug this straight into this and plug my phone into it or whatever, and I can actually rehearse to music, and it's great. It has a headphone jack and everything else. And I think the thing that sells me the most, it has GK's best heads pause on it. It has the RB, you may think it's the 800 or whatever. It has that head. It has the Fusion head. It has some different amp sims in here, and they all have a different texture, a different sound. And I'm going through this thing, and I'm like, whoa, a lot of things in here I'm going to use. I'm going to use this thing even when I go out on the road. I'm going to use this because it has so much. It has so much, flexibility, and I'm really liking this thing. I can't wait to get back to it. I really can't. Now, if you were watching the video that didn't count down and actually counted up, it's just snafu on my part. I was so enamored by this. I didn't even do that edit. But this lady was crazy talking about paying bills. Paying bills. If a man asks for sex or the sex subject of sex comes up, and as adults, the subject of sex will come up. We're going to talk about sex on the first date. But if you bring up sex, then they're saying, well, my bills, my bills. And people say the sprinkle, sprinkle lady, she's going to help a lot of you ladies be single for the rest of your life. You're going to die alone with a dog because you're listening to this lady. But people say, well, nobody's listening to her. Well, I'm telling you, a lot of this resonates. Now, I saw this comment and it was crazy. She says, tell them the best organism for me is when my bills are paid. Now, I'm not a sex expert. I'm not a sex expert, but I'm thinking that an organism is not what I would call that. The best organism? I mean, would that be multi-celled organism, or what are we talking about here? But the fact that she agreed with this shows you that it resonates with some people. This what people are saying, what these ladies and some of the men, what they say, what you say on here, it resonates. So you can't just get on here and say things that you want to say because you have people who believe this. The best organism for me is when my bills are paid. You cannot make this shift up. The fact that you type this, and now, mind you, when I go through the comic section, because I keep telling you, in the comic section is where you find the gold. You find the gold in the comment section. You will always find the gold in the comment section. So you go to the comment section to see what people are thinking. That's the temperature of the room, regardless of whatever the post is, even if it's a skit or it's not real, you go to the comment section. And yeah, and this comic got 1,700 likes. This is telling you every freaking thing you need to know. Thank you, Miss Lynn. This comment got this many likes because it resonates. This resonates. What she's saying resonates. Now, I'm not the smartest in the world, but last I checked, if a man paying you for sex, I mean, isn't that not prostitution? So if the subject of sex comes up, and it does, we are adults. Whether we believe in sex before marriage or not, this is not a show that promotes it. So before you go to your youth minister or your singles minister or pastor, don't come telling him, no, this is not a show. We're adults. We're having an adult conversation. Put your kids to bed. But wouldn't that be prostitution if I'm paying you for it? So if a man was sitting there and you said, well, shoot, my bills need to be paid. And he was like, well, fine, this dinner is over. Before the garçon, chill. Can I take you back to my apartment? I pay you $200 for an hour. You get the money, you catch a taxi home, and you spend it. You will feel cheap. You'll feel like I'm not no whore, but you just said sex, the best orgasm you can have is when your bills are paid. That's what you said, not me. And the fact, like I said, I always go to the comment section because the gold is not necessarily just found in the comments. When I go and see these women going at me and saying they dusty, they broke, I'm going to click on your picture. I want to see what you're saying. And 98% of the time, the woman that's saying the most outlandish things are women that no wealthy man would want. So while you're crying and saying dusties and broke men, the wealthy ones are not coming for you. Every time I watch Kendra G, I feel like, oh my God, you have a woman with 6 children by 7 different men on here talking about they want a man that makes $100,000 a year. So where is he going to get from his $100,000? You cannot make this shift up. That's definitely prostitution if you're paying for it. Then you have this. Come on, play. Don't mess with me today. This woman, she says she will only have a baby for her husband if he pays her $315,000 a year. She's not made to suffer. That's what she wants. She says it's for therapy, personal trainer, and baby needs. $315,000. Your husband has to pay you $315,000 a year. Ma'am, that is prostitution and a surrogate mom. Let me ask you this. Those in the comment section, let me ask you this. How many men, percentage-wise, just type it in the comment section, how many men, percentage-wise, make $315,000 a year that they could just give to another person, to a spouse, and not pay bills and not make sure everything's okay? How many men, percentage-wise, do you think? You can put it in the comment section. How many you think can pay that? I'll wait. My sign says less than 10%. Try less than 1%. Try less than 1% of all men in this country can pay $315,000. They don't make $315,000 a year, let alone give away $315,000. I said give away. How many men you think could do that? Less than 1% could do that. And then less than 0.1% will be willing to do that for a woman like that. Because the woman that said that, she's not a 10. She's not a woman that you can say, oh my God, this is a woman I need to pay this for. But this kind of stuff does resonate, y'all. Because even in the comment section of this, where I found on TikTok, the women was like, yeah, we need to up our standards. That's right. That's right. The stuff that we go through. And then you lead to situations like this.
Damn, girl, what's going on?
Oh, baby, 1,800 just to speak.
What?
To talk is 1,800.
1,800.
1,800.
I got some liquor at the house.
Oh, baby, see, I don't even drink.
And so now you got women who, that woman right there is saying it takes 1,800 just to talk to her. Now, my honest opinion, I really hope that this is a skit. But regardless, like I said before, even if it is a skit, it is resonating to a certain group of women. It's resonating. Said, that's right, our standards. We need to raise our standards. Do you think that woman is the standard where you would pay $1,800 just to approach her to have a conversation? And I know what y'all saying, oh my God, D, you're going to fat shame this woman. No, I'm not fat shaming this woman. I'm really, really not. Because there's been a lot of that going on. But I'm not doing that today. But overall, physical attraction, which is number one for a male initially, we're looking at this woman. Would you pay $1,800 just to speak to her? Really, 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 lady? This is what we doing. Fat shaming. So you see this picture. The lady meets a man. It's a cartoon. And you say, well, D, why would you post a cartoon? That's not real. I keep telling you, posts like this, they resonate. I saw this post and a friend of mine actually posted it, but I saw it again. And on this, they were commenting. And she said, you're not 6'3", you lied on your profile. He said, "You're not slim. You lied on your profile." So when I went into the comment section, it was a whole lot of body shaming of men going on. But the men, if they said anything about her size and her weight, oh, y'all just superficial. Everything ain't about looks. Everything. Let me explain this to you in the most calmest way possible. Let me calm down. Ma'am, stop trying to make men feel guilty by the way we were made. Men were made to be visual. That's what we see. We like what we see initially. We're not dumb. We know it's going to take more than looks to sustain a successful relationship and or marriage. But make no mistake about it, it is important to us. And how dare you make us feel bad by the way we're made, what gets us going, what gets us wired, what makes us sexually charged. But then you get to have your preferences and fat shame all day. It's amazing to me. When I look at TV and I look at sports, there are plenty of overweight women. When it comes to fat shaming, it only goes one way. When it goes to body shaming, it only goes one way. I've never seen a commercial about a woman's body or sexual inept, inept whatever, her junk or whatever. I'm not going to go there. We're not going to be graphic here. But I've seen commercial about men problems, the size of men. And even on ESPN, you cannot escape it because they started talking about Zion Williamson. And all day, every day, they can laugh and talk about bigger, fatter athletes. They did it to Zion. They did it to, what's that man, Oliver Miller. They did it to Tractor Trailer. They do it to male athletes. But I've seen plenty of overweight girl, women, basketball players, but you can't say anything about them. Why? Because only then is it fat shaming. So don't come to me talking about fat shaming. I ain't fat shaming. But make no mistake about it, that body shaming thing, that's only going one way. And so what I'm saying is, men, we're getting fed up with it. We're getting fed up with this double standard. Men are fed up, ladies. Men are fed up. Then I saw this foolishness. Look at this. He texts her on March 15th, "Hey, gorgeous." He texts her again. He inboxed her. "How are you?" April 15th, when ignored. "Hey, gorgeous," when ignored. "Hey, gorgeous," November, when ignored. "Hey, gorgeous," in December, when ignored. "Hey, gorgeous," he did it again. Kept texting this woman, "Hey, gorgeous." And then finally, he got a heart. And now the picture is saying, look what he got. He ended up marrying her. And when I read the comment section, I immediately was like, what in the world? Super duper, 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 duper red flag. Because you think about it, it was women in this conversation. That's right, brother. Keep applying pressure. So you basically are telling me I should chase you and be ignored for almost a year. Ignored. She wasn't even commenting. No thank you, no no hard ass, no lip emotions, no, whatever y'all do when your men flirt with you and you know you shouldn't be, whatever. So none of that. But then now he got her. Let me say this to you, fellas, and I love you. If you are chasing a woman that long and she never responds to you, and now she did that one time, that means she reached the very last in the line, and it was you. Because she ignored you almost a year and probably was somewhere with somebody else, and during that whole time, that's what was happening while you were texting her. And now, when she reached the last, and probably late 30s, when she was, "I want a good man," now you're there. And you played yourself. Because now you're getting everybody's experienced the best part of her. You're getting what's left over. Because if she felt like you was worth to get her best, she would not have ignored you so long. I can get the first two. You know what I'm saying? Maybe whatever. Ain't nowhere in the world you should be texting this woman that long a whole month. No way. Not me. No way. You have too many options. When you are on your game and you worth something, you have way too many options to be chasing somebody that long. Now, you may think she's worth it, brother. She's not. Because if she was worth it, she wouldn't do this to you. First of all, that's going to be a problem. And you ignored a big red flag. The fact that she ignored you this long, I keep telling you, bro, you not listening. Y'all never listen to me. The streets keep calling when they keep going. And after the streets was done with her, then she wanted your hand in holy matrimony. No, don't chase. I'm not gonna text you that many times. I'm just not. And I understand we do see a beautiful woman, we think whatever. But honestly, when a woman is attracted to you or she feels like you're worth her time, she at least will respond to you. Even if it's just thank you. Hey, gorgeous. Hey, good morning. It may not have no sun or heart or nothing or any gifts or whatever that says good morning with the rainbows and the bunnies and the deer smiling at you from the side. It may not be that, but they will at least give you the driest good morning you ever had. But at least it's a response. This woman played you to love and you did nothing. Nah. But that's not, it's two things that was sent to me today before we go to PGW. It was two things that was sent to me today that blew my mind. Well, not today. One of them was sent last week. Y'all been sending it to me. I mean, my Saturday, outside of still dealing with this prophecy thing, my Saturday was filled with one video, but this one was sent to me. Look to me. Oh, I hope y'all sitting down. Please tell me you sitting down. Please tell me you sitting down. Please. Because check this out. Ooh, I'm going to need some water. Jesus. Because what y'all about to read is about to blow your mind. Here we go. Hey, my strong king. I know you came home today from a hard day's work and was wondering why there was no food on the stove and all of my belongings gone. Well, I decided to clean up your apartment. In addition to taking the trash out, I came across a condom wrapper and a used condom wrapper. I know you forgot to clean up your mess when you were done. And you probably wasn't expecting me to unexpectedly stop by. Why does she have your keys, sir, if y'all not married? But anyway, but I guess the universe has a way, a universe? Red flag has a universe of bringing the truth to light anyway. I hope you and the beautiful queen, have a wonderful life. I have changed my number, so no need for calls and an apology. I'm done. I'm not upset either. As a matter of fact, I'm on my way to get ice cream now. See you never, love you. So you can see a picture of her, and she has the manufactured baby hair that you guys like to do from whatever extension you put in your hair. I never really understood it. You're not a baby. Just let your forehead grow. Just let your forehead grow. Just let it shine through. But that was the whole thing. But now, you ready? You guys ready? You ready? You ready? Because there is a plot twist, y'all. There is a plot twist. You ready? You ready? No, not you, fool. Don't mess up my show. Check this out. No. No. Do I have to do some little bit of editing during my show? I hate having to do that. Hold on. I might have to do some editing. Yes, I do. I have to do some editing, and I didn't want to have to do editing on my show. Oh, wait. No, I don't. Here it is. Check this out. Here's the lady. Now, she's kind of cockeyed. I'm going to have to do that again. She's kind of cockeyed. I mean, no offense to cockeyed people. God bless you in your ministry. But something wrong with that eye. But anyway, she posted something that he wasn't prepared for. And it's coming in 3, 2, 1. A pregnancy test. And it's positive. Oh, by the way, tell your homeboy Chase, congratulations, because we did that. You cannot make this shift up. can't make this up. So while she found a used condom in his house, when she unexpectedly showed up, then she comes telling him that she was pregnant by his friend. You. Next week we talk about toxic. But this had to make the show today because this was too amazing. Now, I ask you this question, ladies and gentlemen. Who was wrong here? He was wrong for cheating, but he used a condom. She cheated with his friend and did not and got pregnant. Who was the one that was wrong here? And when I looked at the comment section, the lady was like, go girl, ooh, boom, ooh, your best revenge. What? What? Because last I checked, if you came over his house and you cleaned up, you were already pregnant. So you did not know about his transgressions before you were clapping cheeks with his friend. So you waited to spill the beans. I'm telling you, that's right there. And the fact that it was so many women that agreed with this woman and said, yeah, you go. Oh, that's good. That's what he get. And everything else, fellas, they are for recreational use only. If any woman that you think you dating is celebrating and clapping and laughing at this video, you need to change your whole mindset with her. I didn't say treat her wrong. I didn't say lie to her, but you got to put it in your mind, not long term, nothing serious, nothing worth investing. Because you would think that this was okay. 2 things wrong with this thing. Well, 3 things. Number 1, you had sex with somebody, his friend, you got pregnant, and now you're going to be a single mom. So those 3 things. Because his friend ain't going to stay with you. Men that cheat with you very rarely stay. They love the fact that you are with somebody so they can clap cheeks and not have to deal with you outside of that. You can't make this up, y'all. Well, absolutely, it's not your friend. It's not your friend. It's not your friend. And that's why I have friends. I got people that I call my brothers. I hold them to that. So far, they've been pretty good for me. If I put you and I say brother to you, and I will tell you, you like a brother to me. I expect you not to do this. There are so many different women that you can run through. Don't do mine. If you have any respect for me, don't do that. But you got some people out here, trust me, you got some people out here that'll smile in your face and be cool with you and then be texting your woman all sorts of stuff about you. You can't do nothing. You can't have conversations because, y'all, men talk just like women talk. We talk crazy sometimes. Oh, my God, we say some things. That's what men do. That's what y'all do. You think we stupid? We know what y'all talk about. Now, you shouldn't be talking about any escapades because we may find out. But I'm saying if you in the mall with your girl, oh, girl, he fat. Oh, my God. We know y'all do that. We ain't stupid because we going to do it. God dog, is that real? We may do that. But I'm saying you need to be very careful with that because your girl, because this happened to me before, your girl will come and tell me she be checking out other dudes, she be giving their number out and everything else with the hope to try to get me away from her to them. Oh, it happens. It happens. Oh, you said you question the finding of the condom. No, well, it's some stupid people out here. It's some very stupid people out here. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's some people out here, and some men we so happy-go-lucky, you'll leave a condom or whatever. I've had too many friends have condoms. I mean, one of my friends, God rest his soul, I found the condom in his car. I was like, brother, what the Hades is this? I didn't want to get in your car and see this. Man, and he thought it was the funniest thing. I was like, bro, I don't want to see this. This nasty. So it happens. But man, and then both of them are wrong. Both of them are wrong. Make no mistake about it. But sleeping with my friend and then getting pregnant, nah, that's an all-time loser.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
here's the thing. They do clap back when it hurts. They really do. But to be honest with you, you have to be the point as a man that even though it hurts, you don't give them the benefit. You don't give them, what's the word I want to say? The pleasure of them seeing you hurt. You move in a way. I see too many videos. I mean, next week I'm gonna post a couple of them. Men going to where their women cheating at and acting a fool. No, you need to move in a way that shows your strength. All I want to see is see you. I want you to see me see you. Then after that, have fun. I'm going to move around at that point. But why would you do this? How could you do this to me? No, brother. No. Now, if they're in your crib, you just grab the rake, get out my house, both of you. Y'all know what I mean. I ain't gotta, I'm on YouTube and everything, but y'all know this is not me being a pause moment. Y'all already know what this means. You just said Google Chrome. Google Chrome. Peace be still. You know what I mean? Once they see that in my house, because I'm paying the bills here, that's the ultimate form of disrespect right there. But you still don't act the fool. Just click, click. Are you done? Because you are now. Get up, get out my house right now. Both of you. That's it. We need to learn how to move in a way that's just like that. You don't let them know they rattled you. Because see, the misnomer is that they can do what we do and we gonna hurt. No, that's not true. We gonna hurt. That part is true. But we don't have to show you nothing. And some of us, we at the point where we kind of expect you to act like this. Because like I said, you can't deny. You can't deny one thing.
She belongs to the streets.
You can't deny it. So once we realize you belong to the streets, why would I be hurt over a 304 at that point? I'm not going to cry over that person. I'm not going to be hurt over that person. I'm going to thank y'all that I actually saw that this was true. If I'm married to a woman and I'm paying all the bills and then you go out there and do that, why would I be hurt at that? Not me. Now, some of y'all, you different. I understand you're wired different, but not this one. But I saw one of the most disturbing things. I hope you guys are ready. Because imagine being a young man and seeing your mom like this. And the fact that they are laughing, is the part that pissed me off the most. They are laughing like the situation is so freaking funny. And the thing is, even in the comment section, people were laughing. Women were laughing. And one of the things that I've been hearing them say, well, I'm going to let the video finish first. This little man is crying, y'all. The fact that old Bucky Beaver in the back is laughing. The fact that women are laughing at this. Fellas, they are for recreational use only. Do not marry them. Do not get in anything with them that don't invest anything you're willing to lose. You can't lose. Don't invest more than what you are willing to lose. Don't think long term. Think 20 minutes. Clap. They were saying stuff, well, she's only dancing. Do y'all freaking know what dry humping is? If I got a woman shaking her thought pockets all up on me, all up on my jajangle, there might be some problems if I'm attracted to that part of her body. Men, we are wired that way. If a woman that we find attractive is flexing her thought pockets on our jajangles, it's going to be a problem. And they know it. That is not just dancing, ma'am. That is not just dancing. Show me one dance where I could just put my thought pockets on somebody. So if I pull out my jajangle and start swinging it around and flapping chicks in the face through my drawers, am I just dancing? Am I just dancing at that point? Because to date, men haven't had that kind of thing yet, where we could just walk around. Those of us who are showers or those of us who are growers, we get a little bit excited, and then we just let our schlong just go around like a baseball bat, just whacking people upside the head. People would be like, "Oh my God, that's not dancing. That's not dancing." I don't remember no woman in my life that ever shook her thought pockets on me. I don't know no woman that's ever shook her thought pockets on me that didn't want me to clap. I don't know none. None. Every single woman in my life that has flexed her thought pockets on me definitely wanted me to hit. Definitely. There is nothing, I can assure you. It was a long time ago, but if I still had the text messages, I would show them. But I don't do that. But still, if I was that kind of person, I would show you. What are you doing after this? Where are you going? Where are you staying? Where's your hotel? It happens, y'all. This young man is, and here's the thing that I don't think y'all, the dumb women in the comment section don't understand. He saw his mama in a light that he should not have. This is going to have a long lasting effect on this young man. And I guarantee you, here's my question. Where the falcon was his dad? Because if this was my son and I saw this, I would be heated. I would be heated. I would be heated. The fact that you was flexing your thought pockets and your butter pecan buns on this dude. And here's the crazy thing that nobody's thinking about. This woman looks older. This young man looks like he's a teenager, maybe 17, 18. You mean to tell me, but see, this is the difference between our society is jacked up. A woman that's seriously older than him can flex her thought pockets on him all day long. Nobody would say nothing. Let that man be 25 and let her be 18. And the first thing y'all be saying is, he robbing the cradle. He's creepy. He's a molester. But here you got this Babana hood bandit out here shaking her thought pockets on him. And the only thing people said was, she's just dancing. Let her have a good time. You can't make this shift up, y'all. And then you sit back and wonder why people look at us crazy. Because they thought that this was funny. No father has been present. I guarantee you. We know why. It's a shame, y'all. I mean, if you want to act like that, then okay, but don't do it in the presence of your child. Do it somewhere else. Go somewhere to a club where your child wouldn't even be even in the vicinity. Do it there. If you want to be a thought pocket shaker and put your little buns on somebody's slong, then that's fine. But that's your business. But you don't do that in front of a child. And me working in childcare, I can't tell you because, some things that we can't share. But if I was ever to share some of the stuff that we see and experience at childcare, you would wonder why I'm so serious about this. You just don't do this in front of children. Now, this boy looked like he was maybe, 11, 12, 11, maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that preteen stage. I'm seeing it with kids younger than that. I'm seeing it in kids younger than that. And I just think, I hate that that's where we are. I hate that's where we are. It's crazy. We got to do better as a people, y'all. Preacher's gone wild. Now, last week was serious. And I hated that, I even had to address that. But most of the time, Preacher's Gone Wild is pretty light. We pretty much just laugh at a few things. And since we have another segment, real talk segment, that's going to be really quick, but still, it's a talk that y'all want to have, sex on the first date. That's, woo, that's going to be one. But I saw this post and it was funny because it reminded me of one person that's in my band that I won't talk about. He always goes to sleep. Every week I'm taking a picture with him. Like he's sleeping. I'm like this in the picture, like every week. And I post it in our band group and everybody gets a kick out of it. And I thought about this. If you were sleeping in church and then they said, stood up, or stand up, and then you woke up and just stood up, and they said, the pastor said, who else will give 5,000? If this ever happened to you, I promise you, if it happened to me, I got it, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I would want to share it. I'm not sure if I want to jump up and give this in the offer. But when I saw this, I was like, this is going to happen to somebody because as you know, unfortunately, some preachers still don't understand that you can actually preach a message in a short amount of time. You ain't got to start in Genesis and run all the way down. But when I saw this, I thought about the many people that I see sleeping. And one day, this is going to happen. And I hope it happens at Powerhouse because it's going to find its way to this show. I promise you. Now, I want y'all to check this out.
You say what?
Think I need suspenders?
You want to wear? You don't need suspenders. You want to wear them?
I guess. Because, Mom.
Huh?
So, if I took off my jacket while preaching, look like I'm finna go to work.
Okay, so you want to put your suspenders on?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking like a real preacher. My suspenders, Mom.
You what?
I like my suspenders.
You do?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Early Sunday morning, he got home, baby girl, yes, the Jones in the Lord, with all your heart, and lean out to your own understanding, and I yes, oh, Sunday morning, he didn't get up. Glory got up. Yeah.
Listen, I saw this video and I said, you know what? It's funny. And children, they watch preachers, they watch choir directors. I mean, we had a child direct in All of My Help in that video. If you go back and watch the video, there was a little child up there in that video directing. So they watch everything we do in church. Every week, we see young ones and everybody else, future musicians, watching us play. And so I thought about some things that we do in church today, and I'm saying, do we really, really want these children to do everything we do? And no sooner than I was thinking that, I saw this. Now, you know good and dang gone well, you should not have done that. You showed all your jiggling body in front of the world. Now, I don't know much about clerical garments, but where was your suit that you were able to just rip that up and have your belly and everything? Did you at least have on drawers? I mean, what in the world is actually going on with us in church? It's like no holds barred now. Everything just goes, we can just do whatever. And it's like, it's getting more and more out of hand. Mark my words, y'all. Now, as a heterosexual man, you know, we might be like, whoa, but mark my words. We're going to start seeing more and more crazy stuff because everything's just going. We're going to start seeing chicks flashing and everything else. I promise you. Y'all saying, nah, yeah, it's absolutely going to happen. But check this out. I think that was a skit. I think the most depressing thing about that was the drum set. What kind of drum set was that? Was that like a TKO special? What was that? But I think it was a skit, but I'm like looking at this thing and I'm like, man, we kind of dude, is that what people really I saw a video. It didn't make it, but I saw a video and it wasn't us. It was people from another culture, if you know what I mean. And they was making fun of shouting and everything else and how we are in our church. And like I said, I didn't want to get mad and posting and start going on my vicious rants here. And I know it was a skit, Jeremy, but I'm saying when I look at this and I say it brings up a host of things because I've been in places where it was real. It was storefront churches and all these churches. And when I saw that, I said, man, is this what people really think about what we do in our church? Is this what people really think? Now, with all the stuff now, some of us, we go hard and it's cool. But we all know it's sometimes where it's crazy. You know, what do we do about all of that? These churches where you got just craziness going on. We got people swinging from chandeliers and doing all crazy stuff in church. Do you think that's when people make jokes about it? Is it real? Is it something that we should address? Like last week, I posted a video of this dude shouting and they kind of pulled him out or whatever. Like somebody make a joke about that. We do. But if another culture makes a joke about that, is that when we find it serious and we need to address some of the stuff that happens? I think that's the biggest thing. It was a quartet program. It was a quartet program. But I thought that was kind of crazy because a lot of stuff that we see in church, people can make fun of. It's a church in Gary. Pastor David Dye. I told you he was going to make the show. When I saw this, check this out.
Gary, open that door. I'm finna kick the witch out. I said, I'm running. Lord, my Lord. Y'all ain't got no help. Lord, my Lord.
So, that was funny. Pastor David, I'm not trying to be funny, bro, but you slipped now. Was those red bottoms or was those just red bottoms? They just had red bottoms on the shoes because you just straight up just kicked. But like I said, he was saying, open up the door, kick the witches out and everything else. Then he flipped up and he kicked and they fell down. I don't understand people. I really don't. It seems like every time we try to do something serious, it always makes room for it. It always makes room for something to happen that's bad.
Gary, open that door. I'm finna kick the witch out. I said, I'm running.
Now, man, this dude right here, he shouts every time we had something at Clark Road. Every time he slids, he crosses his legs, he does whatever, and he never falls. And the one time you see him preaching, he kicks up his legs and he does something that we all hope would happen at Clark Road. He falls. But during a serious time during church, he falls, but not when he's shouting. I love you, Pastor David. But every concert you shouted, bro, I love you, though. I really do. You cool dude. Whew. Check this out.
Oh, Roro! Oh, Roro! Power of God! Oh, Roro! Oh, Roro! Oh, Roro! Power.
Now, let me ask you a question. Seriously. We see this all the time in church where somebody blows, somebody waves their arms, somebody does something, and everybody fall. Could anybody please, not just now, you got time, find the scripture reference where this happens? Where they blew on people, where they did stuff like that, and multitudes of people fell down or did all this stuff. Please show me the scripture where this happened. Because I'm curious to know where we get this from. I'm curious to know. And I'm joking, this is Preachers Gone Wild, but I'm actually kind of serious. I want to know because it's almost like, even when my prophecy last week, people were taking my base and stuff like that. I'm not going to fall. And for those of you who do this, and you know, you make everybody fall down, right? Please answer this question. Does it mean I'm not receiving the spirit or the power of the spirit if I don't fall? Does it mean I'm not saved, or does it mean I'm the demons fighting, or I'm resisting the Holy Spirit if you or you flash your coat, or you do the Vulcan mind grab on me and I fight it, and we both like this, you cupping my head back, pause. Does that mean I have a spirit in me? I'm curious to know. I'm dead serious right now. I want to know where this came from biblically. Show me the scripture. Because it kind of make me feel bad when people, they make you feel bad when you don't fall. I got preachers come to the church, and if you don't do some crazy things, they say, oh, you don't have faith. Get up and run outside around the building butt naked, do a couple of flips, run through the swimming pool in 20 degrees below weather, and then run back up in here and tell us the goodness of God. If you don't do that, you won't get your house, you won't get the job, and you don't believe in God. I mean, for real, I've literally heard people say, get up and run outside, come back in. I'm not running. Dude, it's like 30 degrees below. I'm not running out here. Don't run around and do that. Show me in scripture where I got to do all of that to receive a blessing from God. I'm not hard up for millions. Carnes got mad when the lady didn't fall and she wasn't receiving it. Yeah. Can't tell the difference between this and the skit. Exactly. I remember a preacher Dane Near did a Russian leg sweep just to make me fall. Woo! Jed says it's not in scripture. He said it's not in scripture. I just want to know, because trust me, it's going to happen again, where somebody's going to prophesy to probably me and somebody else. And I'm telling you now, I don't fall. I don't fall. You're not, because I don't think that I should have to fall. If what you speaking is so potent, I don't need to fall. I will let the words, and I'll let the word of God move. I will let God direct me into what I need to do, and I will let whatever you prophesy to me be all the power that I need demonstrated. Because if you prophesy to me, and for me to receive something that God already told you was going to happen, and it's predicated on my back meeting the ground, or me falling or putting on some show where I'm weeping and crying everywhere, then I got to question your God. Where in scripture does it say I even have to receive a prophecy? Where in scripture does it say you have to receive a prophecy? Where in scripture does it say if I don't fall, do spins like a top, or do all this crazy stuff, that now I don't believe? He gets mad every time. Right. I'm sorry. Honestly, the Bible does encourage you not to lay hands hastily. I agree, Rio. I almost fell one time being prophesied to, and it wasn't because of the word. Oh, you know what? Bye, Jay. Bye, Jay.
Get stepping.
Bye, Jalen. You gotta go. You gotta leave. Let me know he's left alive, y'all. He gotta go. That's my cousin. I love him, but you still gotta go. You won't find it in the scripture. Half the time, folk that acting out of emotion. And I really think that that's the thing, though, Brenda, because it seems like to me that we are so more enamored by that the emotional part of it. That's the part that we want to see, me crying or whatever. And I think that sometimes, when you don't get that response, they think you haven't received. But I'm going to be honest with you. I can receive your prophecy when it comes to pass. That's the best reception that you can get. If you prophesy something to me and it happens, and I come back and tell you, Rodnisha, that what you spoke to me actually happened in the way that you said it. That's the reception. When she spoke to me about, I remember a few weeks ago, I lost a bass guitar and whatever, and she prophesied to me what was going to happen. In less than 24 hours, what she said was going to happen actually happened. And I came back and told her. I didn't need to receive her prophecy. I did it, in humbleness. We hugged, I said, thank you so much, because I was kind of distraught about it, right? And so the very next day, my testimony was greater than me crying. And oh God, yes, yes. My testimony was greater. Our testimony is greater than you falling down. I'm going to say that again. The testimony of it coming to pass is greater than the fall, the weeping, the crying, the emotionalism, the euphoria. Is greater than that, because that's showing that this prophet has actually been sent. That's showing. If a prophet comes in and saying less than 24 hours, God is going to open up where you're going to get $2 million, and you're going to give that $2 million, you're going to be a blessing to other people. Less than 24 hours, you get $2 million and you're able to bless other people. You can come back and give that testimony, which will then draw more people. But we already know that, if $2 million doesn't happen 2 days later, you got a good blessing, you cried. And I ain't trying to be blasphemous to anybody or be disrespectful, but I have such a high standard for this stuff. So I'm not moved by spinning tops. I'm not moved by flying elephants. I'm not moved by people jumping and crying. I'm not moved. I'm happy for them that they have emotion, but you're human. You're going to have emotion. I'm not moved by that. What I am moved by is if you prophesy something that's yet to come and it happens in the way that God gave it to you, then I'm moved by that. And the word of the Lord is already blessed. It's already blessed. Let's stop being moved by emotionalism. That's how they get you. The ones that are not real, they are keen to feeding into your emotion. They love your emotion. And I already know, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to leave it alone. But they are moved by your emotion. But be forewarned. This person here, you can't appeal to be my emotion. You can't. It's not going to work, because I'm going to see through all of that. If you're going to prophesy to me, you better make sure you're hearing clearly. And not the fire tornadoes and everything. You better make sure it's about as clear as Samuel. It needs to be so clear that you need to run to your wife or even your dog and be like, did you hear that? And the dog will be like, "Roo, roo, 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 roo." But if it's your wife, you can be like, yes, you need to go back and say, here am I, Lord. What do you need from me? You need to be that person. It needs to be so clear that you thinking it's another person in real calling you before you come and speak to me. Because I'm not the kind of person, I'm just not going to do that. I'm be analyzing you while you talking. And then when you finish talking, I'm not doing hoops. I'm not running. I'm not flipping. I'm not doing none of that. What you say to me, if it does happen, I will be the first to either jump in front of this camera, or I'm going to jump in front of every other camera as fast as I can, to tell them you are a true prophet, because what you said came to pass in the way that you said it. And I don't open myself up for serendipity. Look that word up. I don't do that. I don't deal in prognostication. I don't deal in serendipity. I don't deal in none of that. Nope. Look that word up, by the way. I got a word, because you ain't going to pray life and you ain't living nothing. The black church has become a show to most of this because of this stuff. I agree. Dog, I'm getting kicked out. You actually did. Ooh, PhD D came out. I'm a master, but I don't have a PhD. I didn't need one for my field. I think in my next phase of life, I'm thinking about it, becoming a doctor, getting a PhD, so I can be a professor. But right now, I'm okay with my master. But anyway, now let me give a disclaimer before we finish. We're finished. We're about like 10 minutes out. I'm almost done. But I really want to talk about this because this has been an issue, even in church, believe it or not. Now, let me get this disclaimer. Again, I am in no way encouraging sex before marriage. I'm not saying you should go out and clap cheeks. I believe that, as believers, we probably should wait. I think it's something that we don't talk about enough. But let's be real. People are having sex, period. That's just happening. Let's be real. And I think that's the segment of the show. We keeping it real here. Over here, we keep it real. We have real conversations. We talk about this stuff. Now, I'm not in no way. Listen, if you go out and get your cheeks clapped tonight, that's not on me. I would tell you not to. But you're an adult, and we're all adults, and adults make adult decisions, and then you have to deal with adult consequences sometimes. So I'm going to start this thing off a little differently. Now, on your stage, on your stuff together, y'all having a good time and everything else. Some of us, you've already decided that you're going to have sex with them. Men, we've already decided that we want to have sex with you from the time we saw you. That's just the way it works for us. We believe, we see you, we automatically say, okay, we want to do this with you. We want to have sex with you. But a lot of times, let me see, that's that we can talk about it, but they can't talk. Right. But men, we've already decided. We've already decided. Before anything, we've already decided that we want to have sex with you. But I saw this video and I want you guys to check it out before we dig into it. Pause.
Is it okay to have sex on the first date? That is what we were talking about at my photo shoot today, and everyone seems to have a different opinion. Is it okay to have sex on the first date? Does that make you be viewed a certain way by people? Does that change the dynamic of whatever the relationship could be if you have sex on the first date? Feel free at any point to chime in because everybody has so much to say about it before.
Maybe you felt like doing it. You was just in a mood.
Okay. So you feel like we're mature enough to do it and not be labeled or feel a certain way. I think a lot of people's concern is that you'll be viewed a certain way if you have sex on the first date. Like you won't be taken as serious.
Certain people are just promiscuous though, and they enjoy that. I feel like you should be allowed to enjoy sex, even if it's just meeting somebody.
So do you think a person will take you seriously if you have sex with them on the first date? Or
I have, so yeah.
Oh, you're speaking from experience.
Okay. I think you have to be okay with knowing that they might not speak to you after.
Yes.
Oh, that's another element.
You got to come with that
But my thing
mindset
is,
already.
you can date somebody for a month, and y'all can have sex, and they can not call you again.
Right.
And it won't
Okay.
last.
But I think for that, I personally think there has to be a level of maturity between the two people.
Definitely.
Agree.
So I want to hear from you. Is it okay to have sex on the first date? Or are you setting yourself up for some kind of label or a person not taking you seriously or a person not calling you again? Yes, no, maybe so. I want to hear your opinion.
So you heard what she had to say. She wants to hear our opinions. I think that this is probably taboo subject for a lot of people because let's just face it, some of us have done this. We've gone out with somebody on the first date and they absolutely did let us clap cheeks, or if you're a woman, you let him clap cheeks or whatever. I think in this society that, it's different for men. This is one of the double standards that we enjoy. I don't think women or overall take that into consideration when they dating a man. Oh, he hit this woman on the first day. He ain't no good. I don't think the consequences are the same. Women are looked at differently. Now, having said that, do I think it's wrong or does it ruin a relationship if you have sex on the first date? I would say this. I've seen couples be married and they absolutely went there on the first date. They absolutely went there on the first date. But listen, there is a but here. And you may not like this but it is in pause, but there is a but here. They knew each other long before that first date. They actually had a few conversations. They got to know each other. They were FaceTiming and everything else. And then when they finally got together, things happened on that first date. So do you think that this is different? Now, if I meet you at a gas station and then, I say, hey, what are you doing at 7:00 tonight? You like nothing. I'm like, let's go out. And you don't know me. And then on that first day, I think that's what we talking about here, something along that lines. I think you start to, it gets a little sticky. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of men, especially the men that I've asked, they feel like it was quote unquote easy. And sometimes men we don't respect easy, if that makes sense. It's almost like if you was this quick to do it to us, how do we know you didn't do it to somebody else? So it gets real sticky when you're dealing with this first date having sex right out the gate. And I just think that, it gets real crazy because a lot of us, especially men, we are very sensitive to that as it relates to what a woman's body. We don't understand women's body. We just think that, if we hit early or really easy, then it diminishes her value or whatever. And then you got some women that's living in their sexual liberation stage that feel like they can go out here and be like men. Sex on the first date, for me, again, if you knew each other and y'all had a whole lot of conversation or whatever, and it just absolutely happened because there could be a connection already. And then you waited and then y'all finally got together. Maybe he's at school. Maybe he's in the service. Maybe his job had him out somewhere for a month or 2 months and y'all actually talk every day and you actually get to know each other because some people are in relationships even though they never even had a first date. Does that count as a first date? I guess that's the question. But a lot of church people and a lot of people that I met, they think going there on the first date is actually horrible. I mean, I believe some of you even think that. I believe some of you even think that sex on the first date is actually really, really the end of the world. And I really want to know, I would love to have somebody come on here and tell me why. Why is sex on the first date so we don't advocate sex before marriage over here? But why is sex on the first date deemed to be so bad? Because sex on the second date, does that make it better? What about sex on the third date? Who comes up with these rules that said when you can have sex with somebody? Who comes up with these rules? Everybody's having sex out here. Let's make church, world, sex is happening. Let's just be honest. But I'm with this whole thing. It was quite a few things that people said. I saw quite a few videos, but one that actually stuck out was this one.
Sex on the first date, good or bad?
Well, I'm going to be 100. So, to be honest with you, all of my long-term relationships, I've been in 3 of them.
Okay.
I've always first night.
Okay.
Now, the dudes that I don't have sex with for months, years, whatever,
right,
they're never going to get it.
Man.
It just never happens.
Okay.
You're not just going to give it up to everybody. It's
Right.
really an energy thing. Like, I always going to, oh, I'm not
Right.
You're
Right.
like, damn, what just happened?
Right. So it's not planned
It's
out.
not planned, but it just depends on how the night goes. And sometimes we know too, like when we first meet you, like I'm gonna give it to him. Like he don't even know I'm about to change his life.
I go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Yes.
We vibing, whatever, but just after you have sex with somebody, you already kind of see the energy after that, like what type of time they're on and stuff like that. So sometimes a lot of us girls do that and waste time and get mad and but again, I go with energy. I don't regret it. I had a good time. Thanks, but I don't see it. I don't see it being so much bad. Now, if you're out here everybody you meet, then yeah, you need to refrain a little bit about who you're sharing your energy or your body with.
So you hear what they had to say. And it's like all over the place when you ask people, what do you feel about it? You get a whole lot of things. Now, what is this thing about energy that people are talking about? I've always wanted to know, what is the energy? Is that the same thing as vibing with somebody or whatever? Is that the same as that? What's the difference between connection, maybe? Is that what she's trying to say or whatever? But this has been a subject for so freaking long because everybody has their thing to say. Some people say it makes you a whore or it makes you this person or makes you, I shouldn't say whore, God, I'm gonna get, whatever. But 304, it makes you that. I just feel like with this whole thing, if you having sex with anybody that's not your husband, you've already opened yourself to that. Anybody that's not your husband, anybody you won't have a lifelong commitment with and you have sex with them, to me, what's the difference between that and the first date? I'm being honest. I want to be honest with you because I don't really see that. And I've honestly never really thought that that mattered, to be honest. I feel like for me, I would like to get to know you before any of this. Before any physical contact, I would like to get to know you at least in a little way. At least in a little way. I ain't say we got to take 8 years, but I want to get to know you, right? And if I know you and say, for instance, we talked every day for like 2 weeks and there's a connection there and we did something then, is that deemed to be bad? Is that deemed to be something that we should call? And the reason why this is important to me, because I feel like women get a bad rep for doing things that men do. And sometimes it's extremely unfair. Because a man could go out here and have sex with a woman right off rip. And like I said, they'll call him a god or they'll be like, man, you the man. But if a woman does it, she's deemed to be a whore or she's deemed to be promiscuous or whatever. And I feel like sometimes as men, we don't think about what we do to women in that regard. I'm even guilty. We don't think about that situation as far as how we label them. So for you to go out and you do that to a woman and then automatically because you did that with her, that makes her easy. I think that that's disrespectful. I think that that's horrible. And I think that that needs to change because you don't know what connection she had with you during that time. Because women are more emotional than we are. And you could have been saying all the right things at the right time in her life. And she felt a bond and connection with you and she felt safe enough to you to give her body to you even that early, right? And so she gave you the best part of her, I would hope, and then you treat her like that. And so when I started to think about that, even as a young man, it kind of led me to that decision that personally, sex on a first date for me, it's really no different than me having sex with you on a third date. No matter what. I mean, I don't think you should be meeting people off the street and like, oh yeah, what's my name, Rufus? Okay, let's go. Man, yeah, that's a little bit too far. That is. But I personally don't think that it's anything wrong with sex on the first date. Now, again, I'm not advocating sex before marriage. I'm not advocating that. I'm saying in this regard, sex on the first date, I don't think it's that. I don't like some of the excuses they were giving. I don't like it saying, well, if you're fine with yourself and everything else, I don't think that that has anything to do with it. I think if you are talking to somebody, y'all have a connection and it should happen to go there. I don't say don't beat yourself up about it. Just go ahead and live life. I think every time, now, as a woman, I would say this. every time you give yourself to another man that's not your husband, you are devaluing yourself for the man that could potentially be your husband. Now, you need to think about that. That is something you should think about. But I don't think you should beat yourself up about it. But anyway, that's what I had to say about that. Tell me what you think. I might cut this up. I might cut this up and make this its own clip. Now, next week, we're going to deal with toxic. We need to deal with it. I want to get the show done real quick because I want to get back to this device. I really want to get back to this thing. But I want to make the show quick. But it's been on my heart to talk about that sex because I've been seeing it so much. And I saw it all day for like last week. I saw it. I was like, I'm going to touch on it for about 15, 20 minutes, maybe give my thoughts on it. And then hopefully, people will stop beating themselves about something that you pretty much are doing. Matt, please don't go out here just smashing dudes. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't go out here having sex with everybody. You shouldn't. You shouldn't be doing that. But I'm saying don't beat yourself up. If it happens, tomorrow's a new day. Start over or whatever. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I love you. Next week we will deal with toxic women, toxic men. Some think it's a one-night stand. Well, do you think it's a difference between a one-night stand and sex on a first date, though? I think one-night stands are mostly planned, though. One-night stands usually happen like y'all meet at a club or a party or somewhere, and y'all just go and just do that. I just think that's what one-night stands are, or it's just something that where it was already planned that this was what's going to happen. I think sex on the first date is like you meet somebody and y'all have a connection and y'all talking and you really thinking or he's thinking or she's thinking that it's going somewhere and this could possibly be somebody I want to be with, and then we just had sex on the first day. I've seen it happen too many times where they turn into relationships where they actually are together for at least some time. They may not lead to marriage, but I've seen it happen where they've been in relationships. Enough for me to not dismiss that sex on the first date is not necessarily a thing that's bad, depending on how it happened. Like I said, if I meet you at the grocery store and we both buying bread, and then next thing you know, the next buns I'm seeing is yours, then yeah, that could be problematic. But I'm talking about you actually talk, you actually had a connection and everything, and then the first date after that, it just one thing led to another or whatever. I don't think it's that big a deal. It wouldn't in that regard. That's just my opinion. But I can see why people feel that way. I can see why people will feel like that's a bad thing. But I personally think that in terms of relationship, you do complicate it when you sex before marriage. But let's be honest though. I'm gonna say this, and this gonna get me in trouble. When you're dealing with sex before marriage, it's a big wait, did I get my come on, Tyreek Hill, get one more catch. But it's a big thing because I've been running into a situation where I'm gonna say it. Women, sometimes y'all want high prices. Because even if a man wants to talk about sex with you, say for instance, I'm a sexual man and I like sex and the subject of sex comes up. You come with this long list of demands sometimes. You gotta be this, you gotta do this, you gotta make this much, you gotta be this, you gotta be this. And then it kind of makes it difficult even in the terms of talking sex with you because sex does come up. We know it. Even if you're not planning to have sex with this woman until you either are very, very serious with her or marriage. Even in those terms, it seems like it's a lot. And I leave you with this. I believe you with this one.
I think it's only one type of woman on the planet that can make a man wait to have sex with her.
That's your wife.
That's a virgin.
Yes,
that's the only person that could come to a guy and be like, I don't have sex right off the bat. If you already had sex before, I'm not waiting. Another already hit this shit.
Yeah,
so it's like,
my bad.
So, and when I saw that, I said, wow, do you agree with that? Do you agree that a virgin is the only woman that can actually have demands, and one of those demands is making a man wait forever for you? And man, I just had to talk with Miss Lynn about that before I jumped on this show. Let me ask you this question. Then I want you to think about it. Then we come back and talk about the toxic men and women next week, right? I want to ask you this question before I jump off of here. If you meet a man and you say, I want to wait until we are married before I can have sex, and you are not a virgin, you've been here, you've been around. I'm not saying the streets was calling, but you've been out here. Let's say, for instance, you meet this man and y'all talking, you say, well, I want to wait until marriage to have sex. Again, I'm not advocating sex before marriage. Before you go tell your pastors, I'm not. This is the discussion. And the man says to you, I respect that, and I won't pressure you to having sex, but I'm going to have sex with other women while I wait on you. Is that an acceptable answer? Yes or no? Bring your answers next week when we talk about toxic relationships. Good night, everybody.